Hello Internet, today I want to show you guys some useful tips about rotoscoping. The rotoscoping can be a really life-consuming job, but there's something you can do to speed up the process. Let's check it out this video. The most traditional way to do the rotoscoping is using masking tool and make keyframes with it. There's one common technique that you can use while keyframing your mask, which is to do it pose by pose. What it means is you can actually use the most dynamic motion and make a mask adjustment on that frame, and then you go to the frames in between to refine your mask again. What you have to do is to refine your mask whenever is needed by going into the frames in between. Next, on the transform tool, wherever you double click on your mask, there will be one rectangle shape coming up, which is a transform tool, and you can resize it, which means you can also make the mask adjustment by using transform tool. Because if you are only using the individual points to make your mask adjustment all the time, you might messing your mask by making it more complicated or misplacing the individual points. By using transform tool, you will be able to make the shape more consistent whenever you make your mask adjustments. Not to mention that you also speed up your workflow. There's also one cool thing about transform tool is that every time you double click on it, it will just goes back to 90 degrees, which is kind of cool and convenient. Next, on the multiple masks, it's always a good idea to break the mask into different parts. For instance, like a human body, you are better off with separating the legs away from the main body, so it's easier for you to manipulate the mask, especially when the subject is having a lot of movement. Now let's talk about Rotor Brush. Rotor Brush itself can actually analyze the foreground away from the background. So there's only one thing we have to do, which is to make the foreground as visible as possible. So normally I will do some color correction. For this video, I will put one hue saturation to bring down the skin tone. I'll go to the red and desaturate the skin tone, also bring down the lightness. Also, I don't want the blue jeans to be blue, so I will go to the blue and do the same thing. After that, I will put one level to crush all the blacks and whites out. Also, I can put a sharpen effect to increase the sharpness of the edges. So now you can see that the human body is actually blended into just one piece of black, which will be a lot easier for the rotor brush to analyze. When you've done the color correction, you can pre-comb it and start the rotoscoping. At this point, you will realize that the rotoscoping has become more efficiency compared to the one that didn't do any color correction. When you've done the rotoscoping, you might not gonna use that footage anymore because of the exaggerated color correction, but no worry, you can actually bring back the original footage and put it as a border layer and set it as alpha matte. In this case, you're gonna just use the top layer as the shape that you want to show and the bottom layer as the color that you want to show. But I will not say this technique works all the time because different footage need different kinds of color correction. That's why the masking tools are still kind of useful at this point. Anyway, the rotor brush was meant to speed up your workflow, not to help you to solve everything out. At some point, you might have to use it wisely by interact with some other tools like the masking tool we talked about just now, or a little bit help during the shooting like green screen. But anyway, thanks for watching this video. Please give me a thumbs up by liking this video and also share this video to your friends who are still struggling with doing rotoscoping. But most importantly, subscribe to my channel so you will get notified whenever the next video is out. But if you think my video is completely useless, you can subscribe to me as well because it's free.